Hey guys, welcome to the second video of the Python tutorial series. We have a few things that we're going to go over in this series, or this video for the series. We'll be modifying variables, which this is going to be the backbone of your programming in Python. So, for example, I'm going to put modifying variables first. Modifying variables. So we're going to start with the integers. If you are not familiar with integers, you probably could pick it up in this video, but if you would like an in-depth, I have another video that I posted at the beginning of the series if you have any questions. The first part of this, though, if we are continuing with the video, is modifying variables. Now, I'm going to be using the print function a lot. In this print function, all the print function does is display something on the screen. So if we just wanted to display what the variable x has, what the value of x is, we would save our code and then run it, and then it would display 1. It just displays whatever is inside of there. So nothing too fancy. All we're really doing is showing that x equals 1, and it shows it in our terminal. So the first thing that we want to do is figure out, how do we modify x? Now we want to modify x, but what do we do to change x into something else? The objective here is to make x number 10. So we want to make x equal 10. Well, what's interesting is because coding goes from top to bottom, just like any language. Let's say you're reading a book, you would start at the top and then read left to right. That is similar to what the program will do, or what your computer will do. So x equals 1, but now x equals 10. So what happens if I do a print statement for x right here? Well, if we go ahead and run it, x now equals 10. Remember, this was the 1 that we had earlier. Now it equals 10. So what we did is we redefined the variable. So now x equals 10 and is no longer 1. But what if we just wanted to modify x until it gets to 10? Well, what we can do is actually call x again and then add 9, because 9 plus 1 equals 10. So why can we put this x here? Why is this able to work? Well, again, just like a book, it's just like a story. Like, once upon a time, x equaled 1. Then x started to grow, and x then became 10, which is 1 plus 9, which equals 10. So the way that you would actually write that, if you were doing just regular math, is this way. This is what actually is going on. So you have 9 plus the 1, see how it's highlighting right here, plus the 1 from the x that was up here, and is now turning it into 10. So this is 10. This is now 10. So if we wanted to test that, we can type in x, we're going to save it, then we run it, and it is 10 still, just like it was earlier. So that is simple modifying variables. Now, what about strings? What are we supposed to do with strings? Doubles work the same way as integers, so there really isn't much of a change. But what if we wanted to type in my name? You can see that it's C-A-N-E-R-O, but I have an N at the end of my name. So what do I do to modify it? Well, strings are just a collection of characters, remember? So there's multiple ways that we can do this. We can create another variable, and we'll call it y, xy, and we're going to add just the letter n. And what we could do is x equals x plus y. And why does this work? Well, we have x, which is just camera, and then we have N for the Y. So what is this actually saying? Ignore these lines. What is line 4 saying? Well, line 4 is simply saying this right here. So it's my name plus what it was before, and then it's adding the N right here. So what's weird is it's tagging on the N. So why is it doing that? Well, it's just a collection of characters, so it's just appending it, which is a word that we use a lot, appending, to add on to. It is appending it to the end. So, for example, if we wanted to print this, so let's go ahead and print this, shall we? If we wanted to print X, we can run it, and it has my name. So, for reference, what we're going to do is print X before it was modified, just to show that there's no tricks going on here. There's no anything. I'm going to comment this out. The hashtag or the sharp is used to comment code out or add comments. So this is not code and this is not code. This is all just plain text until I get rid of the hashtag. So let's go ahead and run it. We have our variable y here, but it's not doing anything. So let's go ahead and run it, and all we get is camera. But then once we take away the sharp or the hashtag, well, first let me make sure that it actually is in the right position. Let me put the print statement here. And then we type in X as a variable and run it. Now it is complete. It is Cameron again. So everything is being modified. And that is how you can actually add things to this. What if we wanted to subtract something from this? There are multiple ways to subtract from a string. You can do this in a number of ways, and you almost have to fiddle around with it a little bit. There are a ton of things within strings. All variables have built-in functionality. So for example, if we wanted my full name now, let's do my full name, Cameron, and then we wanted to redefine Cameron in another variable. So we're going to just put Cam for my nickname, right? What we could do is x.substring, I believe it's substring. Well, let me substring. Actually, I take that back. Substring is another function that's used in a lot of languages, but it's not in Python. I forget that sometimes because I'm more fluent in C#, but Python I'm okay with too. So let's go ahead, and I know that strings are a collection of characters, so what we can do is simply get 0 to 2. This position is 0, 1, 2. So this y will equal cam. So let's test this out, shall we? Well, let's go ahead and do print, and we're going to put a y here. Very simple. Now we have a CA. What are we missing? Well, in strings, depending on how they are built, there's a lot of different ranges. Sometimes it'll stop at 2 if you put this here. So it probably stopped at the number 2, but it started in index 0. It's very complicated. The stopping number is usually where it will not place things. So the correct term would be exclusive, so it would not include whatever number you put here. So for 3, it would stop at E, so it would exclude E. So let's go ahead and try this, shall we? Now we have cam. See, all we had to do was find the starting position, which is 0. So 0 starts here, 1, 2, and it stops at 3. It doesn't go over here. So in the case that we wanted to delete the character at over here, right? There are ways that you can remove certain characters from strings, but for our sake, what we're going to do is just delete the ends. So I'm going to get rid of the N in Cameron, and then start from 0, and then we're going to look at the length. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we want that imaginary 7 here. So 7 is the stopping point. So let's go ahead and run it. And there's Cameron. But now we want to subtract that to get Camero. There we go. So now that is how you would subtract something from the end. If you wanted to do it from the beginning as well, you would start at 1 instead, and then you would be able to take a little bit off of that. So there's a ton of ways that you can do this stuff. I believe there's, yeah, here it is. So for like removing a specific character, for example, if you wanted to replace a specific character, you can type in replace the A in Cameron with nothing by putting nothing there. There are special functions that you have to remember, but instead of us having to remember everything as programmers, what we can do is look at documentation, which is on the internet, and there are plenty of developers around the world that have came up with the same problems that you have. And the good thing is that we can go on to sites like Stack Overflow and get answers from that. Well, let's go ahead and run this, shall we? And see what actually happens. So it did exactly what it was supposed to. It got rid of the A in my name. So now we know how to delete things in strings or replace them. This would replace all. There are different ways to limit the amount of, yeah, here it is. See the count? You can adjust the count. And this is the string, the new, and all that. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can modify strings. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was very informative and was able to help you out. If you guys need any help by any means, leave a comment down below. If you really liked the video and the video was helpful to you, please leave a like. I am hoping to add more to the future and possibly get some more videos out about some advanced topics. Alright, that's modifying variables in Python. Hope to see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.